What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we've got another top 5 for you. It's actually 7. Today we're going to be talking about the 7 best guns of 2023. Now, there was a lot of guns that came out in 2023, and actually a lot of good ones. I would consider this a golden era of firearms, where it's really tough to put out a bad one these days, unless you have a bad idea to start with, which, hey, does happen. Stupid people exist. But with modern technology and modern machining, you can create some seriously cool guns. And this year in particular, a lot of guns came out that I've been waiting for several years, so there was a lot of hype around this year, and a lot of those guns actually succeeded, and a lot of them lived up to the hype, and you'll be seeing those here in a second. The rules of this video are that I had to review the gun, and it had to come out in 2023. I can't get every gun, but I do believe I got almost all the most popular ones, so it's going to be a good list. Before we get to the video though, I do want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you guys we have cool guns and ammo on the channel, and we really appreciate your support. If you like the honest reviews, just go down to the link in the description and sign up for Patreon. I also want to mention a local shelter named Iowa. It's the YSS. Those kids could really use your help, so please go down there and donate to those kids. And then finally, I do want to mention my Twitter. It's popping lately. I just got on Twitter this year because I'm late to everything, so why change it? But my Twitter is HonestOutlaw_. We're doing all kinds of exclusive content and cool deals and all kinds of stuff on there. So go down there and check it out. That link will be in the description as well. We'll start out with number 7 here, the Canik Rival Steel Frame. It was one of the first guns we reviewed in 2023. We got it all the way back in January. It is the steel frame version of the Rival, which I absolutely love because Canik brings an absolute shit ton of stuff to the market for a very low price, and that's why people love them. You get great accessories, you get great ergonomics, you get a great trigger, and you get a pretty reliable platform, all for a pretty low price. The steel frame is one of the hot guns in USPSA right now, just simply because it has a 1911 style trigger, and it's allowed to be used in carry optics division because it's not single action, it's just the best striker fire trigger you can get. It has a cool look as well. They come in stainless or black. They have cool slide serrations. They have a very wide trigger guard and a pretty good grip. They come with 2 18 round mags, so you get that 18+1 capacity, which is super awesome, and bigger mags are easy to reload into. It also comes with 5 optics plates and 3 back straps, so it's easy to make it the exact gun that you want for you. It weighs 42 ounces, has a 5-inch barrel, has a fiber optic front sight and an adjustable rear, giving you everything you could want for a competition gun. You want a light trigger that resets fast, you want low recoil, you want an optics ready platform, you want to have good ergonomics that have serrations where you want so you can run the slide, and then you don't want to have a whole bunch of sharp edges on the grip because you don't want to cut yourself when you're running the gun. Canik gives you everything that you would need to be successful in competition for a low price of around $800, and for a steel frame carry optics ready gun, that is very low. That's about 2/3 of the cost of a Shadow, which is still good for the money for that division. So I would definitely recommend the Canik steel frame, about the best trigger you can get without going single action. Now at number 6, we have the folding gun, the Smith & Wesson FPC. Now the folding carbine has a cool little trick in which it folds in half. However, that's not actually why it's on the list. Why it's on the list is because it's a 9mm pistol caliber carbine that takes the available and easy to find Smith & Wesson magazines. It comes with 1 17 and 2 23 round magazines, weighs 5 pounds, and it survived our 2,000 round torture test. With very, very few malfunctions, none of which I would have had if I didn't shove mud and dirt and all kinds of weird shit in there. In the chamber and everything. Here we go. But even then it ran relatively well. It is a very reliable, very lightweight, and extremely affordable 9mm PCC that not only folds in half, but you can get the damn thing for like $500, and that's pretty cool. It has a threaded barrel, and we ran a good majority of the review suppressed, and it still ran just fine. Very cool gun, very cheap, and you can use it for just about anything. Folded in half, I think it's only like 20 inches long, and since it only weighs 5 pounds, you can put it in a backpack, you put it on the seat of a car, a boat, or a plane, and it could be a survival gun, or it could be your do-it-all home defense gun, whichever one you choose, and it'll look pretty cool doing both. If you really want to impress your friends, you can just fold the damn thing out and shoot it like John Wick. In at number 5, we have the small but mighty Ruger Security 380. Now I threw this gun on my best guns for beginners because I think it is a great gun for beginners, and that's another reason why it's on this list. It came out in January as well, super cheap, sub $400. Comes with 2 magazines that are 10+1, so you get enough capacity to do anything you want with it. 3.5-inch barrel. It only weighs 19 ounces. As far as the easy to use arthritic hands, new shooter platforms, this is one of the best guns out there. Very low recoil, really good sights, and the recoil spring on it's very light, so anybody can run the gun, and you don't need to worry about any of the Beretta Tomcat business. You can just run a regular semi-automatic handgun and not have to worry. They come with a safety or without. They have good texture on the grip, a pretty good trigger, and as I said, very low recoil and pulse. They can be shot extremely quickly. Now I know 380 is on the low end of acceptable calibers, but trust me, if you're going to get a 380, this is a great one. If you just do a quick comparison with it and the Cheetah 80X that came out this year, it comes in at like 1/3 of the cost, was more reliable and easier to shoot, so a big win for Ruger, especially for the budget guns. In at number 4, we are going to take a big step up in price, and we're going to be talking about the U.S. military's new service rifle, the Sig MCX Spear. Now, the Spear was a gun we gave away this year, and I was pretty happy too, because that is a awesome gun. Kind of everything the Scar should have been. And don't get me wrong, I love the Scar. I've been using the Scar in video games for years. I love the way it looks, but I wish it operated the way the Sig Spear does right out of the box. Comes with an M-LOK rail, piston-driven system. The ones that you can buy on the civilian market are 308, and I think 6.5 is rolling out a little bit, maybe a 277 Fury if you really get lucky. It's a super cool, very durable, very reliable battle rifle that was just accepted by the U.S. military, so not only does it have the cool factor of being the new service rifle, but it also kicks ass. It's got a very proven and lethal caliber with regular 308 magazines. You can get them from any magazine company, Lancer, Magpul, and you can run it really well. It ran with cheap 308, it ran with expensive 308. We shot it at 500 yards.
Hey.
And we were doing bill drills with it at 10 yards. The damn thing can do almost everything, and it looks pretty cool doing it as well. The new cartridge that the military uses that you can't get a hold of yet is extremely impressive and would make it even better, but the 308 certainly isn't bad either, and the 308 is going to be more available and cheaper. So for civilians, I think that's honestly the better route anyway. Has an adjustable gas system if you want to suppress it, which is super cool. Extremely modular, as the MCX is. You can take the rail off, you can switch everything. It's really easy to use, and it has the same ergonomics as an AR with the piston-driven system, which is what people have been doing forever. They've been trying to find a good piston-driven AR, and I think the Sig MCX is probably the best version of that. Folding stock that you can't do on an AR, which is super cool as well. It's not super heavy, although it is pretty heavy. Understand that it is not a 5.56 rifle, fully loaded with my optic and my light. I think it was around 13 pounds, which isn't super huge, but it isn't a light gun either, but it isn't supposed to be. It's a 0 to 1,000 yard rifle after all, and sometimes it's got to be a bit heavy. But the coolest looking rifles of the year, and I think it personally lived up to the hype, which is why it's on this list. In at number 3 is going to be probably my personal favorite gun of the year. But because it's a lot more expensive than the next two, I put it at number 3. The CZ Shadow 2 Compact. Now, my bias is going to show a little bit here because I absolutely love the CZ. I shot the CZ Shadow 2 in competition for years, and what the fuck with the Blue Jays? Nobody wants to bang you. Shut up. Sorry about the Blue Jay. I don't have any ammo right now, or I would take care of that. No, I'm kidding. The CZ Shadow 2 Compact is everything that the Shadow was, but smaller. So initially when the Shadow 2 Compact came out, I was really hoping for a carry version that is exactly the same as my standard Shadow. The Shadow 2s are the most reliable competition gun I've ever shot. I have thousands of rounds through them with no failures, and they shoot dead on. They're super accurate, they're super reliable, and I love the recoil pulse. So when they came out with a small one, I was like, damn, I need to get that. The MSRP of around $12.50, which isn't expensive by any means, especially for a gun of this caliber, but it isn't cheap either. It's gonna be about double a Glock price, but what you get out of it is pretty incredible. One of the best double single action triggers on the market, and double single action is cool for concealed carry because you have that double action trigger to protect your junk. You can put your thumb on the hammer as you put the gun away so you don't have any accidental discharges, and It comes with a very large trigger guard, which works for me because I live in Iowa and it's cold in the winter. So with my carry guns, I always want a large trigger guard so I can use them with gloves. Comes with two 15-round magazines, awesome ergonomics. It has an alloy frame, so it weighs around 30 ounces, which is a little bit heavier than a carry pistol, but it is the best shooting carry pistol you can possibly get, and that weight does soak up a little bit of the recoil. If you want a lighter gun, you can go with the Ruger 380. If you want a gun that shoots incredibly well, go with the Shadow 2 Compact. It has an optics mount right out of the factory, so you can put an RMR on it. It has a red front fiber optic with a blacked out rear. The classic ergonomics of the CZ Shadow 2, with 25 lines per inch checkering, the cool aluminum grips, and the high ride beaver tail that allows you to control that recoil even better. Comes with a light rail right out of the factory, so you can throw your X300 on it. It looks super cool on Instagram. And overall, I think it's one of, if not the best shooting carry gun you can buy on the market. I was close to putting the DWX Compact on this list, but it comes in at more than the Shadow 2. It doesn't have a rail or an optic system, so the reality is I think the Shadow 2 is a better option. So if you like the DWX and you want that longer flat face trigger, I do like that as well, but I do prefer to put an optic and a light on my carry gun, and for that purpose I go with the Shadow 2. Numero dos, the Springfield Echelon.
Woo!
Nice shooting.
Oh shit,
I really like
Twister.
this. Springfield Echelon. Hey, it made me look great.
Now, if you'd have told me last year that I would put a Springfield gun over CZ's new release, I would have probably told you were dropped on your head. The Springfield Echelon is a polymer frame pistol with a striker fired action that has a 4.5 inch barrel, weighs 24 ounces, has a steel slide, and it actually has a fire control unit very similar to the Sig P320, except unlike the P320, it actually works well. Comes with a 17 and a 20 round mag, and it comes with a whole bunch of different options available. You can get a bunch of different frames, you can get a bunch of different optics to mount to it, which is pretty cool. It comes with a universal optics mounting system, and we actually use that optics mounting system to do one of the craziest optic torture tests ever. And through the entire process of dragging it behind my truck for a quarter mile, doing like 10 drop tests, we dropped it from 10 feet multiple times, concrete drop tests, not only did the optics survive, which is the new enclosed Trigicon, but the Springfield Echelon's optics mounting system that I was a little concerned about didn't lose zero the entire time, which gave me a lot more faith in the actual optics system myself. Now, when it comes to the gun, we did a reliability test of the gun as well. Mud, sand, dirt, the pond, obviously we drug it around the truck, and we did a dust test with it, and all of that, it passed relatively well, or as well as it possibly could have. Extremely reliable. We did 2,000 rounds, and as long as we weren't shoving mud and dirt in there, it ran 100%, which gave me a lot of confidence in the gun. Not only that, but it ran really well. It's very accurate and it's very fast. The trigger is good. The texture on the gun is good, so you can hold on to it even if it's muddy or wet. We ran it with an X300 the whole time, so you're not going to have any reliability issues when hanging stuff off the front of it. It has good sights, and it has some of the best slide serrations I've ever tried. Really easy to use, really easy to operate, and it won't cut your hand while doing it, so you can do it really fast as well. The gun comes in with an MSRP of about $650, but you can find them for much lower than that. I've seen them for as low as $550, but I live in Iowa, so good luck finding that in California. Overall, we consider it probably the best duty handgun that has been produced in the last few years, and it's actually made by HS Products, which does make some sense because it's not actually made by Springfield in the first place. It's just imported by them from a military contractor in Croatia. That being said, it's probably the best gun that has Springfield's name on it, and I would definitely recommend it. Now, in at number one, we're going to have another Smith & Wesson. The Smith & Wesson 5.7 has an MSRP of $700, but you can get it for about $600. Comes with the thumb safety or without. Comes with the 5.7x28 caliber, which I really like in handguns. Now, I get a lot of shit because I don't really like it in rifles because you can basically have a 5.56 for the same weight, but you can't put a 5.56 in a handgun, so 5.7 is what it is. And it's a very flat shooting, very low recoiling, decent caliber that you can have a huge amount of capacity. As you can see with this gun, 22 round capacity in the mag, and you get 2 of them in the box, which is pretty cool. Gun only weighs 26 ounces, has a 5-inch barrel, and it has the new Tempo barrel system, which basically eliminates recoil. 5.7 has a low recoil impulse to begin with, but if you shoot the Smith & Wesson next to the very low recoiling Palmetto 5.7 or maybe the FN 5.7, you'll find the Smith has actually half the recoil. It feels literally like a 22 long rifle. Now, I know people say that as a joke, but that's basically what it feels like. It's an expensive 22. Not only that, but it has a dedicated optics mounting system for the Holosun 506. 5.7. It has a threaded barrel out of the factory, so you can suppress it if you want to. It has one of the best triggers Smith & Wesson has ever put out. Definitely has a better trigger than the standard M&Ps. I don't know how they did that, but I would appreciate that trigger from now on. Flat-faced and breaks at like 4.5 pounds, which is awesome. Unbelievably accurate gun. I can shoot 6-inch plates with it at 50 yards, and I can bill drill with it pretty quickly at 100 yards. Accurate, fast, high capacity, reliable, and low recoil, all for that price of around $600. How could it not be number one on my list of best guns of the year? The only con to that gun at all is that 5.7 is expensive, and the more 5.7 pistols that get made, the lower that ammunition is going to be. So I think there's going to be a bright future for that gun and for that caliber, and I think it's the best gun of the year. Let me know what you think of my list. Obviously, this is my opinion and my opinion alone. I do have 1,000 rounds for these guns to give my opinion. That being said, your opinion matters too, so I'd love to see your list, so make sure to put it in the comment section below. Make sure to go over Twitter and follow me and shoot me a message and let me know what you thought of this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Peace help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later. We put this through a complete, what did he start like? He fucking went quiet for like 10 minutes while I'm walking around.
Oh my god.
Where is his dumb ass?
He's in the...
Maybe it is. It's an annoying fucking bird. Should be able to throw rocks. So, after my wife definitely didn't chase a blue jay off by throwing rocks at it, we're back.